So, highly debatable, highly controversial, highly sticky, and highly amazing. The first topic, ladies and gentlemen, is Farm Act and CAA Act intent, journey, and response. Halaki, this is squeezing in too many things, but let's see what our students have to say. हर student speaker को 5 minute दिया जाएगा, and the audience is requested not to hoot. The idea is to listen to what the youngsters say. Youth Parliament के youth यही है. So let's hear it for our amazing 3 student speakers. A huge round of applause for them, guys. Even before they speak, they are very nervous. तालियों से इनका स्वागत किया जाए. हमारे पहले speaker आज के हैं the very dynamic, the very fierce Prithviraj Zala, all the way from Nirma. Nirma ना Prithvi? Let's hear it for Prithviraj Zala. प्लीज तालियों से स्वागत कीजिए. 19 साल का बच्चा है ये.
Thank you, ma'am. Warm welcome to all the respected guests, respected jury, ladies and gentlemen. When I think about this topic of farm laws and CAA, I thought of these 6 commonalities between the two of them. Confusion, fear-mongering, misinformation on one side, and on the other side, bold moves, pre-poll promised and long unfulfilled. जब हम फार्म एक्ट की बात करते हैं तो मुझे अर्थशास्त्र का ये श्लोक याद आता है. प्रजा सुखे सुखम राजा, प्रजा नाम तु हिते हितम. The Modi government brought this bold farm laws with this inspiration of this Arthashastra shlok, the heart and soul of the welfare of the Indian Annadata. What did these so-called black farm laws do? I tried to search the blackness, but only I found choice, agency, freedom, efficiency, and independent competitive market economy. What does these farm laws really try to do? It broke the monopoly of the middleman. It empowered the farmers to sell anywhere at any price that they want. Secondly, by allowing contract farming, it ensured fixed return value to that farmer and promoted value addition. The third Farm Act, the ECA Amendment 2020, it broke away the barriers of government control, and it said that free storage and free movement of commodity. And अगर आपको लगता है कि ये सरकार ने रातों रात ये कायदे ला गए, then that is totally wrong. 20 साल मेरे मुताबिक तो भारतवर्ष में कभी भी ऐसा कायदा नहीं लाया जिससे 20 साल प्री लेजिस्लेटिव कंसल्टेशंस किए गए. मैं रिपोर्ट्स पे रिपोर्ट्स गिना सकता हूँ, फ्रॉम द आलूवालिया कमेटी रिपोर्ट टू द जैन कमेटी रिपोर्ट, स्वामीनाथन कमेटी रिपोर्ट टू द 12th फाइनेंस कमीशन रिपोर्ट. All these reports have said since last 2 decades that the farm sector should be liberalized, that the Essential Commodity Act should be repealed. This government did the exact same thing, but it was feared that the farmers' freedom will be taken away. And there were mass protests, and eventually, in a statesman-like move, the government retracted the laws and they have been repealed. I beseech the government that they sit with the farmers, they explain them, take that particular group who was protesting in confidence and bring back this Green New Deal, which was like akin to the 1991 LPG reforms which the Narasimha Rao government did. And now we all know that all our sectors are free trade. So I beseech all of the government that this Green New Deal should be brought back with the confidence of all those protesting farmers, as the strong reforms of the farm sector is the call of the hour. Moving on to the second act, which also saw mass protest and then riots, etc., the CAA. Ladies and gentlemen, same pattern, fear-mongering. इंडियन मुस्लिम को बाहर निकाल देंगे, इंडियन मुस्लिम की सिटीजनशिप ले लेंगे. बट आई एम अ लॉ स्टूडेंट. I read the law as it is, I read the constitution as it is. What does the CA try to do? It is a benign amnesty legislation based on strong historical legal premise of the Nehru-Liaquat Pact of 1950, of the partition two-nation theory. I believe it is our moral obligation that we bring back these religious persecuted minorities in our neighboring countries. It is our moral obligation. Many say that it violates Article 14 because it does religious-based classification. But I'd like to say it does not do religious-based classification. The classification here is religious persecution. कि उन 3 देशों में ये 6 रिलीजन पे परसिक्यूशन हो रहा है, इसलिए हम इनको फास्ट ट्रैक कर रहे हैं। ना तो ये किसी को सिटीजनशिप एक्सप्लिसिटली देता है, ना किसी की सिटीजनशिप एक्सप्लिसिटली लेता है। जहाँ तक सवाल है कि आपने कंट्रीज ये 3 ही क्यों चूज किए, बाकी क्यों नहीं किए, I just like to say that it is policy decision and the sovereign wisdom of the parliament to choose that which countries it like to do. बिकॉज अगर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का टेस्ट ऐसा होता तो कोई रेफ्यूजी पॉलिसी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली नहीं होती, क्योंकि हमें पूरे वर्ल्ड के सारे रेफ्यूजीज लेने पड़ते, बट दैट एवरीबडी नोज इज इम्पॉसिबल. एंड प्रीवियस गवर्नमेंट्स हैव ऑल्सो ग्रांटेड सच मूव्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ द श्रीलंका एंड युगांडा. As far as the fear of anti-Muslims is concerned, that it is anti-Muslim. If it is anti-Muslim, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, then it is also anti-Tibetan Buddhist. As far as it excludes Chinese, then it is also anti-Hindu. CA is anti-Hindu because it will exclude the Tamil Sri Lankans. But it is not, because it is narrowly tailored. It is not an omnibus and all-encompassing solution. We believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we do. But at the same time, we have to keep into consideration the practical realities, our resources. India cannot be the refugee capital of the world. हम सारे refugees नहीं ला सकते because it is impossible to do so. There is not sectarian. लोग बोलते हैं अहमदियाज को आपने नहीं गिना, आपने शियाज को नहीं किया, आपने एथिस्ट्स को नहीं किया. तो वहाँ पर जवाब यही है कि ये लॉ सेक्टेरियन परसिक्यूशन के लिए नहीं है, ये रिलीजियस परसिक्यूशन के लिए है. और अगर हम बात करें पहले की सरकारों की, तो 1964 से MHA के पेपर्स देख लीजिए आप. लॉन्ग टर्म वीजा पॉलिसीज only for Hindus and Sikhs. Then 1977, chains were added. Did anybody protest then in 1964? Nobody did. We look at the previous promises. Go and see the Congress party's papers and the Communist Party papers. Both of them were in favor of such a move. But now we see that it is called undemocratic and the destruction of the basic structure of the Indian Constitution. I don't think so. When the Supreme Court of India takes a legislation and tests its constitutional validity, it only sees its legality. It cannot go into the wisdom of the parliament, the wisdom of the government, or the desirability of the government, because it only has to see law as it is on paper. Concluding, I'd just like to say that this bell which was tolled today morning in the starting of this great convention, I'm remembered of Swami Vivekananda's 1893 speech in the Chicago Convention of Religion. Swamiji there said that the bell that tolled be the death knell of fanaticism and religious persecution across the world. I call all of them and I pray and hope that these great words of Swami Vivekananda, that religious persecution across the world and fanaticism end, will be the great way ahead. With that hope, with both these laws, I conclude my speech. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Ladies and gentlemen, Prithviraj Zala, 19 years old, Nirma University. Please, let's hear it for him. हिम्मत होती है ऊपर आके बात करने की. The next speaker, without further delay, is from our very own home